What is up, ladder climbers? Antoine Wade here from Elevate to the Unknown and the Wade Report in nextgenheights.com. And it is Tuesday, November the 18th, 2025, 7 a.m. Central. We are live on the Daily Climb. While you guys were sleeping last night, 2 different countries woke up this morning. And let me show you what I mean. Bitcoin crashed below $90,000. First time since April. First time it's been negative for the entire year of 2025. Over $1 billion in liquidations happened overnight. Stock markets tanking everywhere. Asia, Europe, here in the United States. Home Depot just reported earnings this morning before the bell, and they missed. The CEO said ongoing consumer uncertainty. What does that translate? That translates into people ain't spending money because they don't have any money. I want you guys to type crash in the chat if you see everything falling. So that's one side of America that woke up this morning. Bitcoin crashing, markets down, Home Depot warning about consumers being scared. But here's the thing. There's a second America that also woke up this morning, and that America looks completely different. Yesterday afternoon, Jeff Bezos announced he is coming back as a CEO. First time since he left Amazon back in 2021. And he's starting an AI company called Project Prometheus. Raised $6.2 billion. Not million, but billion with a B. And that's one of the biggest funding rounds for an AI startup in history. He already hired 100 people from OpenAI, from DeepMind, from Meta, all the top AI talent. And get this. In 1 hour from now, 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. our time, AWS opens registration for a brand new certification to Gen AI developers. Average salary for someone with that cert, $206,000. And AI engineers overall right now, median salary is $293,000. Top performers are making $943,000 a year. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? We are in 2 different Americas, guys. And I want to show you it. So let me say it again. Last night while you guys were sleeping, one America where Bitcoin crashed, markets tanked, Home Depot is warning about consumers. Another America where Bezos raised $6 billion, where AI engineers are making close to $1 million a year, where $200,000 certifications are about to open up. Same night, 2 completely different realities. And new data came out overnight that explains why this divide exists. 86% of executives, they think that their employees trust them. I came across that number and said, what? 86% of executives think their employees trust them. But when researchers actually asked employees, only 60% said they do. That's a 26 point gap between what bosses think and what's actually happening. And that gap explains everything that we are seeing right now. I want you guys to type 26 in the chat if you guys think that is huge. There's a big divide between what the bosses think that they are getting the trust from their employees and employees saying, nah, man, we don't trust you like that. We listen to the Daily Climb. We know exactly the corporate talk, so we don't trust you. But Marcus, he sent his negotiation counter offer on yesterday, asked for 195 instead of the 177 that they offered. He's still waiting to hear back. Boeing workers, they went back to work on yesterday after a 3-month strike. Okay. They won a 24% raise. But last night, workers said that they only voted yes because they were exhausted. Ain't that something? One worker said this, people are tired. And that's what they was banking on. Beat them into submission. So they didn't just win because the deal was good. They won because they were too tired to keep fighting. Meanwhile, 81% of Americans are so scared right now that they take a 10 to 20% pay cut just to avoid getting laid off. That's how terrified people are. I want you guys to type 81 if that's most of America. This is what I'm calling the Great Divide. And today's show is about understanding which side of the divide that you're on, and more importantly, how to get to the other side. Because one side is crashing. That's Bitcoin. That's the markets. That's consumer spending. And the other side is raising billions, paying people $500,000 a year. You need to know which side that you are positioning yourself for. This is the Daily Climb. It's Tuesday, November the 18th. The Great Divide is real. Let's see which side you are on and how to cross it. Okay, let's climb. Let's climb. Before we do that, let's see who's all in the house, man. Tech Bag Trey is in the house. He says 86% are super delusional. Good to see you, Jason. Get to see the life of Cam. Get to see you, Ahmed Global. Get to see you, Wait 43. NC Worker in the house. Get to see you guys. As you know, I'm actually streaming on the Wade Report. But today is going to be the last time I'm streaming on the Wade Report. So if you are on the Wade Report this morning, click over to the Elevate to the Unknown channel. Click over to the Elevate to the Unknown channel because it's the last time you're going to see us live on the Wade Report. And while you're at it, if you guys are coffee drinkers, check out the coffee mugs in the coffee store on the Elevate to the Unknown YouTube channel. We have some fantastic mugs. Support the Daily Climb show. Check it out. It's fantastic. It's absolutely lovely. I have the 15-ounce mug because it carries 15 ounces of coffee, and I need it in the morning. It feels great in the hand. These are some fantastic mugs. Rise, grind, climb, and repeat. Check it out in the store on the channel. All right. First thing that we got to talk about is why this divide exists, because it's not about money. It's not about money, guys. It's about trust. That's what it's about. It's about trust. Or actually, it's about the complete breakdown of trust between workers and leadership. There's a lot of tension that's going on right now between workers and leadership. And the data that came out overnight is pretty shocking. And let me show you. Okay. Here's the numbers. 86% of executives believe their employees trust them. They have their heads far up their butts. 86% of executives believe that their employees trust them. My man, Tech Bag Trey says super delusional. It's true. They're delusional. Researchers actually asked employees. They said, okay, well, you know what? How much do you trust your leadership? How much do you trust your bosses? Only 60% said they trust their leaders. That's a 26% gap, a 26-point gap. I said 26%, but it's actually a 26-point gap. And that ain't a small misunderstanding. That's a complete disconnect from reality. Delusional, as my man Tech Bag Trey said. Let me put it into regular language. If you are a boss and you think 9 out of 10 of your employees trust you, but really only 6 of 10 do, you are living in a completely different world than your employees. You think everything is fine. They know it ain't. And it gets worse. Okay? I want you guys to type disconnect if you felt this at your job. Only 32% of employees trust their leaders to make the right decisions. Only 29% trust their managers. That's down from previous years. 96% of CEOs think they are doing enough for employee mental health, but only 69% of employees agree. Type 32 if only 1/3 are trusting leadership is bad. Whew, ain't that something? Here's the numbers, guys. Here's the numbers. They think they're helping your mental health. They think they're giving you everything that you need. But here's what it looks like in real life. Amazon. 91% of employees are dissatisfied with their 5-day return to the office mandate. Okay. We don't want to go back to the office because we like working at home. Big boss man says, get to the office. You don't get to the office, you don't have a job no more. Trust is eroded. Okay. 73% actively are job searching right now. Ain't that something? That's a lot of people, ain't it? But leadership keeps pushing the mandate anyway. They think it's building culture. Employees saying it's destroying their lives. They have to move from one part of the city to the next, one state that they were at to the next. I want you guys to type Amazon if you know someone that's struggling. If you know someone there that's struggling, type Amazon in the chat. Also, workplace surveillance. 78% of companies now are using tracking tools. It could be AI tools because they gave you u.com or whatever else they gave you. They are tracking you. 54% of workers say they quit if surveillance increased, but companies keep expanding it anyway. They think it helps productivity. Workers say it destroys trust. If you guys are being tracked at work and you know it, type one in the chat. Manager burnout. Okay. Manager burnout. 82% of managers are burnt out. That's higher than 73% of entry-level employees. Managers spend 75% of their day in meetings, 260 meetings per year. And when managers burn out, their teams are 4 times more likely to quit. But companies keep piling on more meetings, meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting. I want you guys to type burnout if you are a manager and drowning right now. I know a couple of you guys. A couple of you guys are managers right now, and we've had that conversation. You don't like it. Individual contributor roles at a certain points in your life may be better for you. May be better for you, depending on what stage in life you are in. Okay? So let me connect the dots for you guys. Executives think everything is fine. 86% think you trust them, but you don't. Only 60% actually do. They are pushing return to the office. Your job search is causing it. They are expanding surveillance. You being ready to quit is causing it. They are overloading managers. Teams getting, so much work that they're quitting because of it. And nobody's talking to each other about what's actually happening. That's the 26-point gap. That's why everything is feeling broken. And here's where it gets real. 48% of American workers admit to revenge quitting their jobs. Not quitting for something better, quitting specifically to hurt their employer. Ooh, woo. That's what they said. I'm going to revenge quit so I can hurt you guys. I don't want to see you guys have any success. You made me mad. You made me angry. Not quitting for better, quitting specifically to hurt their employer. 32% cite toxic work environments. 31% blame poor management. People ain't just leaving, they are leaving loud. Scathing exit interviews, brutal Glassdoor reviews, viral TikToks. You guys have seen that all over TikTok. See all the layout stories. Airing companies out. And this is what's happening when the trust gap gets too big. When 86% of executives think that you trust them, but only 60% do, when they ignore what you are saying and keep pushing policies that you hate and keep adding surveillance that you hate and keep overworking managers, eventually people don't just quit. They quit with the intent to cause damage. And 48% admitted to it. That means it's way more than it actually is. Ain't that something? Because not everybody is going to admit that to a survey. It's way more than it actually is. I want you guys to tell me something. Type 48 in the chat. If half of workers being angry is serious, something serious, ain't it? Now, here's why this matters for you. Marcus, our friend Marcus, is negotiating in this sort of environment. 81% of workers are so scared that they'd take a pay cut to avoid layoffs. But Marcus is asking for $18,000 more per year. Why? Because Marcus understands which side of the divide he is on. He ain't the scared 81%. He's positioned himself for other opportunities and for the other side. The side where Bezos is raising $6 billion. The side where AI engineers are making $943,000. The side where AWS is about to open a $200,000 certification. Marcus got Oracle certifications. He's networking strategically. He's preparing for interviews, or he prepared for interviews. And he did it because he had the time, and he did it like it was a full-time job. That is why he can negotiate with confidence, while 81% are too scared to even ask. Boeing workers, we talked about them on yesterday. They are somewhere in between. They fought for 3 months, got 24% raises, but they say they only won because they are exhausted. Not because the deal is good. People are tired, they said. And that's why they gave in. And that's what the company was banking on. So on the divide, fighting to get the other side, get to the other side, and, but you're exhausted from the fight. You are making $77,000. You go on strike. This is mowing the fence that we're talking about. You're telling your employer that they need you. The employer knows that they need you, but they want to fight. You're not getting any pay. You're not able to work. This goes on for 3 months. And finally, they give in. Increase your pay to 77, from 77 to 109 or something along those lines. But you are exhausted from that fight. You ran out of savings. So the question is very simple for you. Which side are you on? The 81% who's scared and willing to take less? Or the Boeing workers who's fighting but exhausted? Or Marcus side where you are positioning yourself strategically? I want you guys to do me a favor in the chat here. Do me a favor. I want you guys to type scared if you are the 81% who's scared right now. Type scared in the chat. I want to see you guys who's scared out there. Type fighting if you are like the Boeing workers who's, working and struggling through it, but you are going to push for what you deserve. Type strategic if you are Marcus. You're plotting. You're taking in the data. You're getting your certifications. And you're ready to pounce when you're ready. I want you guys to show me in the chat. Big Sugg says he's Marcus side. I hear you. Strategic. Because here's the thing. The divide is getting wider no matter what. It's not getting smaller. The consumer economy is crashing. Bitcoin is down. Home Depot is warning about it. McDonald's has been warning about it for a long time already. The AI economy is booming. Bezos, 6 million. AWS, 200,000 for engineers. Okay. Engineers in the AI space are making $943,000 a year. The gap is getting bigger every single day. You either position yourself to cross it or you are getting left behind. And that's what today's show is about, showing you to cross that divide. Better get ready. Now, hold on. Before we keep going, if you're getting some real intel from the Daily Climb, make sure that you hit the like button right now. It takes 1 second. Subscribe to the channel if you are new to the Daily Climb and new to the Elevate to the Unknown YouTube channel. Ring the bell. I'm about to show you exactly how people are crossing this divide. I'm going to show you some real stories that I was able to come across and read upon. I'm going to show you some real tactics, real results. This is the Daily Climb. And we show you what's actually happening, but also give you the results and give you solutions as well. We don't just give you the news. We tell you what you can do about it. Okay, make sure you hit the like button. Let's jump over to the next segment. So in the last segment, I showed you guys why the divide exists. That 26-point trust gap between leadership and employees, the breakdown between what bosses think and what's real. Now let me show you who's on which side of that divide, because yesterday, a Stanford professor published something that explains everything. Let me show you. Okay. You guys know who this gentleman is. I talk about him in a couple of videos of mine. Andrew Ng. Some people call him Andrew Ng. Stanford professor, Google brain founder, AI fund CEO. He published yesterday on the 20 VC podcast. He laid out a 4-tier hierarchy of engineering talent. And it explains everything about why markets negotiating while 81% are scared. Okay? If you guys are ready for this article right here and understanding the hierarchy, type tiers if you are ready for this. Type it in the chat. Let's go to the pyramid that he built, that he talked about. Tier 1, top of the pyramid, seasoned engineers, 10 to 20 plus years of experience who adopted AI early. Look what salary they're making. Ng said this: the most productive engineers I know, they are not fresh college grads. They are people with 10, 20 plus years of experience and really on top of AI. These engineers move faster than anything the world has seen even 1 or 2 years ago. These are the people making $293,000 median, up to $943,000 at the top. These are the people Bezos are hiring for his $6 billion startup. Okay. I want you guys to type tier 1 if that's your goals. Type tier 1 in the chat if that's your goals and get to that number. Tier 2, just below them. These are fresh college graduates who learn AI through the social network community. Ng said this: we can't find enough of them. So many businesses love to hire those fresh college grads. They are in high demand, but they aren't enough of them. Universities ain't teaching AI fast enough. So the ones who taught themselves through YouTube, through communities, through building projects, they are getting snatched up immediately. Dang. This is the tier that Andrew Ng is talking about. This is what he's talking about right here, guys. All right. If you are a new grad, type tier 2 in the chat. Or if you are somebody who's learning AI through YouTube and communities, type tier 2 in the chat. Tier 3, this is where it gets real. These are experienced developers still coding like it's 2022 before AI rewired how software gets built. Ng said, I just don't hire people like that anymore. Those people may get into trouble at some point. Dang. This man said, what? I just don't hire people like that anymore. Those people may get into trouble at some point. Tier 3. That's what he's talking about. Experience, but no AI. These are people with 10 to 15, 20 years of experience, good at their jobs, know their craft, but they ain't learned AI yet. And companies like Ng's, they are not hiring them anymore. Coinbase, their CEO, Brian Armstrong, He fired employees who didn't use AI tools and couldn't justify why. Google CEO Pichu, he urged the staff to adopt AI-assisted coding to stay competitive. This is happening right now. If you have many years of experience, but you're not learning AI, you are in tier 3. In tier 3, guess what? You aren't getting hired anymore. That's the reality of it. You're not getting hired anymore. That's the reality of it. I want you guys to type "ain't" in the chat. If I just don't hire people like that anymore, it's harsh. It's harsh. Very, very harsh. This is what Andrew Ng said. He said it in his article. This is what he said. Tier 4, the bottom of the pyramid. Okay? New computer science graduates who never learned AI at all. Ng said this. That's a tier that is in trouble. He compared it to graduating with a CS undergrad that has never heard of cloud computing. Universities teaching outdated curriculums. Students graduating without AI skills. And they are competing with tier 2 grads who do know AI. Who do you think is going to get hired? Type tier 4 if that's a crisis for the young people. Type tier 4 in the chat. This is what he said, man. I'm not the one who said it. This is what he said. I believe him. He said it. Now let me talk about Andrew Ng. We're not talking about Andrew Ng anymore. NG. Andrew Ng. We got two Andrews that we're talking about here. Now we're talking about Andrew Ng. 33 years old, senior software engineer at a startup. Worked at Amazon before, launched a company outside of college. He went to Harvard. Business Insider talked to him yesterday. This is the article. Okay, you see it right in front of you. This is the article. He's basically backing up everything Andrew NG said. This is what he said in his article. Junior engineers are sending hundreds, sometimes even thousands of applications and hearing nothing back. This is what he said. Companies have a reductionist view of junior engineers. They'd rather have one senior engineer managing 5 AI agents than hiring 3 junior engineers. Type thousands if sending that many apps and hearing nothing is brutal. Type it in the chat. This is what Andrew Ng is saying. Wang said his concern is long-term. When senior engineers are retiring and there's suddenly a huge lack of replacements because you didn't hire enough junior engineers 20 years ago or 10 years ago, what do you do then? But companies ain't thinking 20 years ahead. They are thinking this quarter. Cut costs now, use AI now, worry about the future later. That's tier 3 and tier 4 getting squeezed out. I want you guys to type future in the chat. If companies only thinking about short term is dangerous. So here's how this connects to the Great Divide. You got Bitcoin crashing. That's where tier 3 and tier 4 are. Okay. Thousands of applications, hearing nothing, pay cuts to avoid layoffs, exhausted from fighting. You got Bezos, $6 billion economy. That's where the tier 1 and the tier 2 are. Getting hired immediately, making $200,000 to $900,000 a year. Companies can't find enough of them. Same country, 2 completely different realities. And the line between them, guess what it is? The line between them is AI skills. That's it. Type AI. If AI skills, it's the bridge between the two economies. Marcus is getting certified and working at Bank of America, and he got Oracle AI certifications. That's him crossing from one side to the other side. 3 weeks plus ago, he was unemployed. Tier 3 experience, but no AI. Today, he's negotiating for $195,000. Position for the Tier 1. What changed? He got certified. He learned AI. He positioned himself strategically. Boeing workers fought for 3 months, got 24% raise, but they are exhausted. They are still in a consumer economy, fighting for every single dollar that they're getting. Tired from all the fight. The 81% who take a pay cut, they are in the Tier 3, in Tier 4, scared because they see what's happening. But they aren't positioning themselves. They are just scared. I want you guys to type positioning if you see why Marcus is different. Type it in the chat. And here's the part that nobody's talking about. In exactly 30 minutes, we got 15 minutes now. I'm a little bit behind on my show. At 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. our time, so 15 minutes from now, AWS is opening registration for their generative AI certification. That's a bridge across the divide. Average salary for this certification, $206,000. That certification, that's your move from Tier 3 to Tier 1 or Tier 4 to Tier 2. But here's the thing. You got to register, and you got to do it in 30 minutes. Okay? I told you guys yesterday, if you're going to go towards this space, you got to set your alarm. You have to set your alarm. Many of you guys probably said it. Many of you guys are going to jump into it. Because here's the truth. The divide is getting wider. Tier 1 and Tier 2 are pulling further and further ahead. Tier 3 and Tier 4 are falling further and further behind. You are either building AI skills right now, or you are getting left behind in the consumer economy that's absolutely crashing. That's the reality. That's the reality. I showed you guys the 4 tiers. Here it is again. Who's on which side? Now let me show you the 3 people trying to cross that divide. 3 different approaches. Marcus, Boeing workers, and someone who Venmo'd 50 cents to their boss. Let's jump into this one. 3 people, 3 different ways of trying to cross the great divide. Let me show you all 3. Yesterday morning, Marcus sent his counter back to the Bank of America, 195,000 base instead of 77 with 15% bonus. That's 224. That's how much money that he'll be making. $18,000 difference per year. 90,000 over 5 years. As of this morning, no response yet. That's part of the negotiation, the wait, the silence, the uncertainty. But here's what is important. Even if they say no, he didn't lose anything. What are they going to do? Rescind the offer because he asked professionally? Worst case, they say we can't go to 195. But how about 186? Middle ground, still one. Okay, we talked about this on yesterday. But this man spent over 3 weeks positioning himself for this exact moment. Some weeks ago, he worked on the Oracle certifications. The second week after that, he worked on the networking aspect that we talked about. None of that mass applications, none of that, spray it and pray. None of that. The week after that, he worked on interview prep with the STAR program that we talked about. That's 3+ weeks of positioning. And that's why he's negotiating with confidence. While 81% of people are too scared to even ask for a raise or ask for a promotion, he's not scared. He's positioned himself in the AI economy. You also got the Boeing workers. They went back to work on yesterday, Monday. November the 17th, after 3 months on strike, August through November. They won a 24% total wage increase, $6,000 signing bonus. Average pay going from $77,000 or $75,000 to $109,000 a year. Good money. I mean, good money. That's $24,000 more per year. That is a good amount of money. Man, $24,000 a year, man, that's a better house. It's a better car. That's multiple family vacations. That's sending your kids to one private school. But that's a good amount of money on paper. That's a huge win. But here's what came out last night when I was reading up about this. Workers are saying that they only voted yes because they were exhausted. One of the union members, Kevin Gray, said people are tired. And that's what Boeing was banking on. The vote was 68-32, not overwhelming. Same thing that happened with the government shutdown. People got tired. They played around with people at this long time, and the government was shut down for over 60 something days, and people got tired. People who are in the tier 3 and tier 4 are going to continue to get tired until they cross the bridge and build that bridge. But workers were saying at Boeing that they didn't vote yes because the deal was good. They voted because they didn't want to keep fighting. 3 months without paychecks, families struggling, bills piling up. Ain't that sound like the Boeing, the government shutdown? They were exhausted into submission. That's negotiating from a position of exhaustion, not strength. That's what the Democrats did with this government shutdown. And they played with you all. You're exhausted. Many of you guys were not getting paychecks, going to work. You still having to work. Exhausted, tired. But that's negotiating from a position of exhaustion, not strength. So here's the contrast. Marcus, negotiating from a position of preparation. 3 weeks of strategic work. Boeing workers negotiating from exhaustion. 3 months of financial stress. Both are negotiating, but the positioning is completely different. And that's why 69% of American workers prioritize job security over career growth right now. That's why nearly 1 in 3 would take a pay cut to avoid a layoff, because they are negotiating from fear. They are negotiating from fear, from exhaustion, from survival mode, not strategy. Let me talk about a different story here. You see, I got this Darshan Patel up here. This is Darshan. Cool name. 28 years old, from Brooklyn, New York. He wanted to work in film. Couldn't get anyone to respond. Applied everywhere. Got cold emails. Sent out cold emails. Sent them out to studios. Sent them out to people on LinkedIn. DM producers and directors on Instagram. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Got crickets. I want you guys to type nothing if you've been sending applications into the void and haven't heard anything. Type nothing in the chat. Okay? So he tried something wild. He found his favorite director, Oscar Boyson, on Venmo. Sent him 50 cents. Caption said something to sweeten the deal. That's basically what it said. He spelled sweeten the deal wrong. He said something to sweeten the deal with a link to an Instagram DM that had his resume in it. The second he sent it, he thought, what am I doing? Because it could go either way. Either the director finds it funny or Darshan gets blacklisted forever. All right? Somebody sends you a DM, a Cash App. Somebody sends you A Venmo with 50 cents and a link to it, you're probably going to be like, man, that's a scammer trying to get me. You're probably not even going to click on it. So a month goes by and absolutely nothing. Darshan followed up with more professional emails, mentioned the Venmo. The director called him for an interview. Got a 6-month internship unpaid, but all expenses are covered. Travel, food, everything. Darshan said this, I learned more in those 6 months than I did in 4 years of college. The director introduced him to other producers, other directors. That name on his resume opened doors. This year in 2025, Darshan premiered at a film at the Chelsea Film Festival. From 50 cents on Venmo to a film at a major festival. I want you guys to type Venmo. If that's the wildest job search tactic that you've ever heard. This is the wildest one. I'm going to type in Venmo in the chat. Crazy, ain't it? Absolutely crazy. Darshan's advice is this. Sometimes you have to bother people. If they can sense your passion, they might say yes. So here's 3 approaches. Marcus, strategic positioning, okay? Certifications, networking, preparation, Boeing workers, collective exhaustion, fighting together but drained from the fight. Darshan, unconventional tactics, 50 cents to get attention. These are 3 different paths, all trying to cross the divide. Okay? But here's what they all have in common. They are doing something. They aren't just sitting around and sending applications into the void like Andrew Wang described. They ain't just scrolling LinkedIn, hoping nothing, hoping something happens and something changes by just scrolling. What you realize is that these guys are taking action. Different actions, but action. Marcus prepared. Boeing workers, they organized. Darshan, he bothered people with 50 cents on Venmo and DMs. Meanwhile, you got 81% of Americans are scared. They're just waiting. They're just hoping. They're just praying. They're just praying that things get better. They're saying that they want to do something about it, but they're not. Things aren't going to get better if you don't do anything about it. The divide is going to get wider if you don't do anything about it. You either cross it or you ain't. That's just basically the reality of it. Now, real quick here, if you want Marcus's negotiation strategy, if you want his email templates, if you want his research process, join the Heights on Patreon, patreon.com/Black Heights. Okay? We got a professional community of members that continue to rock with us on a daily basis that can help you out. Become part of the group. In this segment, I've shown you guys 3 people crossing the divide: strategic, exhausted, and unconventional. Now, let me show you what happened while you guys were sleeping, because 2 economies revealed themselves overnight. And let me show you. Stay with me on this segment. While you guys were sleeping, 2 economies revealed themselves. Bitcoin, it crashed below $90,000 overnight, down 4.4% in 24 hours. First time below 90,000 since April. First time negative for the entire year of 2025. Down 26% from its October peak of 126. Over $1 billion liquidated. That's a lot of money. The stock markets, they extended their global sell-off. Dow futures is down 150 points, negative 0.3%. The S&P 500, their futures are down 0.46%. The NASDAQ down 0.5%. Asian markets crashed overnight. Japan down 2%. Hong Kong down 0.85. European markets open lower, down 0.5 to 0.8%. Things are just down. There's a worldwide sell-off going on right now. Here's what Home Depot reported. They reported earnings this morning before the bell. Revenue beat expectations, 41.4 billion versus 41.1 expected. But earnings missed per share. 374 versus 384 expected. So they cut their full year guidance. The CEO said this: ongoing consumer uncertainty. Translation, if you guys don't understand what that means, people ain't spending money on home improvements like they used to. They don't have any money to spend on home improvements. So that's the consumer economy. Bitcoin is crashing. People can't eat at McDonald's. People aren't going to Chipotle. People aren't going to Sweet Greens. The markets are down. Home Depot is warning you guys. Things are falling. We just came from out of a government shutdown that cost us billions, if not trillions of dollars. But guess what? Guess what's happening? The AI economy is booming. Jeff Bezos just announced on yesterday afternoon that he's coming back as a CEO, first time since leaving Amazon in 2021. Co-CEO of a new AI startup called Project Prometheus. $6.2 billion raised. One of the largest funded AI startups in history. He already hired 100 employees from OpenAI, from DeepMind, from Meta, all the top AI talent in the world. Their focus is to use AI to revolutionize physical manufacturing, engineering, automobiles, spacecrafts, not software. This is physical manufacturing. So while Bitcoin crashes and Home Depot warns about consumers and McDonald's continues to warn you about consumers, Bezos is raising $6 billion for AI manufacturing. Two completely different economies. Two completely different bets on the future. It's 8 a.m. our time, right? AWS opens their registration for the Gen AI developer certification. The average salary for that certification for professionals who get it, $206,000. First 5,000 people to register get an early adopter badge. It shows that you were in the first wave. AI engineers, median salaries, $293,000. Top performers, $943,000 per year. Open AI software engineers, median, $87,500. Okay. So here's the thing. While Home Depot is saying consumers aren't spending, AI companies can't find enough talent, paying close to $1 million per year to some of their engineers. But here's the divide in the numbers. The consumer economy. Bitcoin is down 26% from peak. Home Depot is cutting guidance. Markets in global sell-offs. AI is booming. The AI economy is booming. Engineers who are in AI, they're making all kinds of money. People who are getting into AI are making all kinds of money. And we're talking about AI engineers in this live stream today, but the reality of it is it plays into every other role as well. You have to really determine what tier are you in. And too many people are finding themselves in the tier 3 and the tier 4. And that gap is widening. The tier 1s and the tier 2s is separating from the tier 3s and the tier 4s. The Federal Reserve cut rate odds to only 4% for December, down from the near consensus week ago. So we may not even see rate cuts for December, which also means that rates staying higher longer. That hurts consumers, mortgages, credit cards, business loans. But AI companies, they got billions of funding and they're spending billions on projects. They're not borrowing at high rates. They are just raising equity. Thursday, the September jobs report finally comes out. 7 weeks delayed because of the shutdown. I don't know if we're going to get an October one, but it's going to be the most scrutinized job reports in years. And it could determine if the Fed cuts rates in December or not. But if they do, that helps the consumers potentially. But if they don't, okay, if they don't, you're stuck. You're stuck. Wednesday, NVIDIA, their earnings, they're going to announce earnings after the bell closes. They are expecting a 54.9 billion in revenue. The CEO said something crazy yesterday. Said that they have over $1 trillion in potential bookings. But Wall Street is calling it a stress test for the entire AI market. They're going to be watching that number very, very close. You got option traders who's pricing it in a 7.4% swing in the stock. So if you guys are watching NVIDIA, check it out. Take a look at it. If you option traders, if you guys are, into day trading and stuff, like if you're watching this show, you're not into day trading. The day traders aren't watching this show. I got a brother who's in day trading and he doesn't watch the show because he's day trading right now. So here's what this week looks like. Today, AWS, it opened up. It's open now. 6 minutes in. You better get there, register if this is going to be your path. Wednesday, NVIDIA is announcing earnings. It's going to be the stress test for the AI economy. Thursday, September jobs report is going to be coming out 7 weeks late. All week, the divide is getting wider. You either are positioning yourself for the AI economy or you are stuck in the consumer economy that is absolutely crashing. Marcus, he positioned themselves. That's why he is negotiating from a position of power. You got the other 81%. They are not positioning themselves. That is why they are scared. I showed you the overnight crash, the two economies, the Bitcoin versus Jeff Bezos, Home Depot versus AWS. Now let me give you guys your exact action plan. Okay. Let me give you guys your action plan for today. All right. And we're going to wrap up after this one. AWS is open right now. It's open right now. The registration is open. If you want to be in it, you got to go to the website. Go and register. Okay? Sign up to it. It doesn't take no more than 5 minutes. That's it. They have the website, I believe is amazon.com/training. You can find a generative AI developer certification page. Be ready to click there to register. Go and do it. It's open now. The first 5,000 gets a badge. Shows that you were in the first wave. After you register, they got a free exam prep plan that is released this morning. Review it. Start studying. This is a, 2 hours and 5-minute exam. It has about 85 questions on it. And it's for experienced developers building AI solutions. But even if you aren't a developer, you can start learning because this is really the bridge from the consumer economy to the AI economy. Here are some opportunities that I came across today that you can look into this week. 8-bit systems. They're hiring 288 jobs, or hiring for 288 jobs in Virginia. Why are they hiring for this many jobs? Well, because they are doing a $30 million defense expansion in Virginia. You got Tesla. They are looking to hire 1,500 jobs here in Texas. $200 million facility in Brookshore that they are ramping up, and they need 1,500 workers there. We already talked about skills-based hiring being 85% of employers looking for skills-based hiring. So certifications mean more than degrees actually do now. We also talked about how employers are eliminating the need for bachelor's degrees. That's huge in 2025. And let me get into one thing before we leave today. Getting back to yesterday, I was gone for 2 weeks on the Elevate to the Unknown channel. That scared some of you. Channel strikes are real. Platform vulnerability is real. You need to subscribe to the Wade Report as a backup. Do it right now if you aren't subscribed to the Wade Report. If Elevate to the Unknown gets taken down and you aren't subscribed to the Wade Report, you lose access to this entire community. I will not be going live on the Wade Report anymore unless this channel is taken down. These are strategies that I have to implement in order for me to make sure that this community stays intact. But also, more importantly, subscribe to the newsletter. You'll see it in the link in the description of this video. You get updates from me on a daily basis about this show. So if you miss it, you get an opportunity to learn exactly what we talked about on the show. And I understand sometimes you got to miss it because things are coming up. But you'll get exactly a recap of what we talked about. Go there, hit the subscribe button. Go ahead and sign up for the newsletter. I have to make sure that we have platform protection over here. The community needs protection, and I do too. But ultimately, here's the thing. The Great Divide is real, guys. It's real. The consumer economy is crashing. Bitcoin is down. Markets are down. Home Depot have already gave the warnings about it. The AI economy is booming. Bezos just became a CEO of another company. AWS is paying, or that certification is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. During the same night, two realities became real. 81% of people on one side is scared and willing to take pay cuts. Marcus is on the other side already. He's negotiating with confidence, and he's negotiating being strategic. The line between tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 is AI skills. That's your bridge across. The divide is getting wider if you don't learn it. I want you all to position yourself strategically. You better start learning it, or you're going to get left behind. I had a call with a good brother of mine, and he was talking about how you're struggling in his job. And I was like, why are you struggling in your job? There's no reason you should be struggling in your job today because you have AI. With me having AI makes me feel like I can do everything. That's just my perspective on everything. I feel like I can do absolutely everything with AI. So there's no reason to be struggling in a job. There's no reason not to be getting things done, in 30 minutes when it used to take you 2 hours. Okay. That's what AI does. You need to learn it. You need to use it. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck in the tier 3, tier 4, and you already know what's happening to them. They're getting squeezed. Just for you guys to remember, this is what it looks like. But if you guys got real value from today's show, if you understand the Great Divide better now, if you know which side that you are on and how to cross it, make sure you hit the like button on the show. Subscribe to the Elevate to the Unknown YouTube channel. Subscribe to the Wade Report. Ring the bell. Hit like on each video. because tomorrow is going to be Wednesday. We might have an answer from Marcus. NVIDIA earnings will be coming out after the bell closes. We will break it all down on Thursday. This is the Daily Climb. We are the show where we actually give you what's happening and how to maneuver your career and your future. Make sure to hit the like button. Okay. Quick recap. Tuesday, November the 18th. 2025, while you were sleeping, two Americas revealed themselves. Bitcoin crashed below 90,000. First time negative all year. Bezos raised $6 billion for AI manufacturing. Home Depot warned us about consumer spending. AWS went live with their certification that is open right now. Marcus sent his counter offer on yesterday and he was waiting to hear back. Boeing workers went back to work on yesterday and they are exhausted. Darshan Venmo'd 50 cents to a producer and it changed his life. The great divide is real and it's getting wider. 81% on one side is scared. Marcus is on the other side and he's being strategic. You are either crossing today or you're not. Keep climbing. The view gets better on the other side. Guys, enjoy the rest of your day. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Get to see you, Big Subs. Get to see you, T1000. Get to see you, Wayne U. Get to see you, Life of Cam. I appreciate you. Why not now? I get to see you as well, Jackie. Good to see you. Jackie says the quality is way down. Man, ain't that truth? I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for rocking with me. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care now. Bye-bye.